It's been a heartbreaking last 24 hours as Helldivers have tried to come to grips with a major order marathon that saw us within mere percentages of full completion. Welcome to the channel. This is LtBuzzLitebeer, and we're taking a look at what happened and also some suspicious activity surrounding the closing hours of that major order campaign. We've also got the possibility of another major award on the horizon, and we just got another breaking news event. The next major order is now live, and we've got a crap ton of killing ahead of us. Just in case you're new here, take a second to hit subscribe, as it really helps out the channel get promoted and noticed in the far corners of YouTube. And while you're at it, ring that notifications bell and set to receive all upload alerts so you never miss one of my future uploads. And there's a lot coming our way, so let's check out all the latest from Helldivers. Here comes the world-famous 30-second Superstore Roundup, and this reset is good for about the next 18 hours or so, starting off with the Lockdown Heavy Armor set with Advanced Filtration. And keep in mind, both of these sets are the alt versions we saw with the Chemical Agents Warbond. You've also got the Lockdown looking somewhat like a welder's mask helmet, the Field Chemist helmet, and the AF91 Field Chemist Medium Armor, again with Advanced Filtration. Next, we need to check in on the major order, and I'm just going to be upfront and honest with you guys. There's not much else we divers could have done differently that would have prevented this failure notice. Being spread back and forth from the bots to the bugs is never an easy task, and we were flung into defenses, liberations, hold the line. I mean, you name it, we saw it. And the player counts were showing us that divers were indeed logging in to put in the work. Now, the second the Truth Enforcer's Warbond dropped on October 31st, peak player counts on Steam alone were up into the mid-50,000s, and again, this does not include our PS divers in that count. Now, I was right there alongside you on both fronts, hitting the random matchmaker and putting in work. And also, I'm going to do something I've never done in previous videos and actually name divers by name, but here I was, right alongside Tata, when we dove into a Helldive bot mission, just the two of us, and absolutely took it to the automatons for a while until a third joined us. But those were some us versus the galaxy moments, and through it all, we held it together. Once that side of the major order was over and we were back over in terminating bugs, I dove in with Phil from My Pillow, Alfred M 1005, and Death from Afar on Gacrux, again using the random matchmaker. And we absolutely ripped up the bugs on Super Helldive. The missions were hectic, the killing was over-the-top extreme, and the experience was what keeps me and so many of you coming back for more and more Helldivers. But if anything, I would like to mention this, and it's a bit of a nitpick. Well, maybe not. We'll see. But anyways, normally, when we're liberating a planet, the decay rate of the enemy forces reduces as we hit certain milestones, like 80% liberated, 90% liberated, that sort of thing, basically to mimic the resistance being slowly whittled away, the reserves being destroyed, and us, the Helldivers, taking full control. Now, while we were all putting in work over there on Gacrux, I kept monitoring the decay rate, and it never went down, which is way out of the norm. Now, had it functioned like it has in the past, our progress speed would have kept creeping up, picking up momentum as we maintained the push to liberate Gacrux. And again, that did not happen. Now, I don't know if this was planned by Joel and Arrowhead. I don't know if it was an oversight and they just forgot to program it in, but we were so damn close to finishing it up, even with that decay rate change never coming. And if it had, we would have, I won't say easily, but we would have achieved victory on Gacrux and completely finished up that final stage of that past major order. But as they say, that's water under the bridge. Time for a new mission, and this one is completely focused on the bug side. And looking it over, well, this stage of the DSS construction is going to be another brutal slog. Here's the latest from Super Earth High Command. The Democracy Space Station is currently in its third construction phase. Before it can be activated, it must be staffed, which is no small task for such a stately behemoth. Again, who writes these things? They're So cool. Though applications from patriotic, detail-oriented team players have been pouring in, the DSS requires over 1.3 million skilled workers. The Ministry of Humanity has therefore authorized the relocation of an unprecedented number of colonists. When polled, those affected by recent bug attacks along the Gloom border proved the most eager to serve. With the Jet Brigade still at large, this is a critical time for the DSS. Decryption of data retrieved from Matar Bay have revealed the automatons to be mustering their forces. It is paramount that DSS staffing be completed as swiftly as possible. The Helldivers are ordered to hold the designated Gloom-adjacent planets, while these disenfranchised families make their new home aboard the superweapon. Okay, so what does all that mean? Well, we've got a 6-day major order ahead of us, where we have to hold Tarek, Cirrus, and Angel's Venture, which we currently all have control of. Now, what's going to task us Helldivers, though, is the second part of this one, to defend against 8 Terminid attacks, and they already are pushing the advantage against us in the Falstaff sector, with both Esker and Socorro 3 and defense missions right now. Strategically, Esker makes the most sense to defend first, as it completely halts the bug advance in its tracks, and then if we've got time, we can all bum rush Socorro 3 and try to get the progress bar past the bugs for defense number 2. And finally, last little bit here from the galactic map, and I know we're spending a lot of time here on it today. For those of you looking to pocket an easy 15 medals, today's daily or personal order is to successfully extract from 3 missions. That's it. Pretty straightforward. And as always, stay in the fight until you complete those 3 missions in an operation, or none of your defense or liberation points will count towards the progress on that planet. All right, checking in over on the official Helldivers Discord, and we just received this piece of exciting news. Helldivers 2 has been nominated for the Ultimate Game of the Year in the Golden Joystick Awards, which requires votes, something us divers should know all about. Now, this one is backed by Games Radar, and for those of you who've watched my previous videos, you'll recognize that name, as I do sometimes cite their gaming articles, but as always, I'm going to leave a link to this voting form down in the video description, so you can all go over there and vote for your faves, and hopefully our favorite managed democracy shooter gets the nod. Also going on over in the official Helldivers Discord, the Constitution debate is still being raised. It's still hot and heavy, with this member aiming a question squarely at B Vitamin, and they're referencing statements previously made by Crazy Mr. Pips and Odo that heavy armor pen for the Constitution would make it kinda okay, their words not mine, still fun, and not OP, since it would still not have better stats nor even equal stats to the Senator. So, do you think there will be something adjusted to the weapon, since having a weapon that has no point nor goal to be even remotely playable for hard difficulties, even normal for the vast majority of players, makes little sense to me? Any info feedback from Arrowhead towards the impact and opinions the Constitution had on the community? Now, I would like to interject that I don't know how accurate an 87-year-old gamer's concepts of how the weapon should handle are relevant here. Or is he 88? I've forgotten how old Pips is these days, but B Vitamin did respond with this one, quote, "I'm not a part of the mod team. I have no involvement in balancing and changes to weapons. We do know about the reactions to the Constitution, but whether or not we'll change anything isn't something I have a say in." And that's really something important we all need to keep an eye on here, but also who the questions are directed at. Twinbeard, Baskinator, B Vitamin, and others are a part of the Arrowhead team, yes, but they are not developers, so they can't just dive into the code and start making changes that the community wants. And finally, making the rounds over on Twitter, and it's good to see Johan again taking to X to post his thoughts. Now, we saw this post from the Act Man. I think Helldivers 2 still deserves to win 2024 Game of the Year. High praise indeed from a very popular YouTuber there. I would also tack onto this by saying that Helldivers 2 should also win Comeback Game of the Year for 2024, but we did see Johan agreeing with the Act Man for obvious reasons. And we also saw Johan hyping up Trench Crusade, a tabletop skirmish game, mentioning that he would love to do a Helldivers 2 Trench Crusade crossover event. which based on the armor sets might be absolutely sick to see in Helldivers. I know there's that pre-order TR62 Knight armor, but I've never seen anyone actually wearing it. So let me know if this is something you would like to see, a Trench Crusade crossover. Sound off in the comment section below. And now it's time for your top 3 comments from my last video, and all of these seem to follow the same theme. And as always, if you want to see your name and comment up in lights in my next video, you first need to let it fly on this video. That's right, take a few seconds, drop me a comment. The YouTube algorithms love it, by the way, and who knows, it might just get upvoted enough so you see it in the next video's top 3. Coming to us in the 1 spot is Eva and Javier. And it says, of all the games, this is the last that price gouges. We have a live service game, no pay to play, $40 and $10 war bonds. Do you folks realize how other games are doing it? I'm happy to pay. The value we get from this game is excellent. And this has to do in reference to some of the community coming out and not being so happy about the pricing and I guess the overall pricing model in the Superstore when it came down to that Doubt Killer armor. In the 2 spot, kind of following that same theme, is Tony Marino 8, who says, wait, you can basically farm credits without buying with real money, and people are bitching about armor prices. GTFOH. And yeah, I get it. It's just, I think people were not quite bitching about the armor pricing. It was just certain aspects of it, like the banner and the cape. The other stuff we're kind of used to. But yeah, I definitely get where this comment is going. And in the 3 spot, bringing up the caboose for this countdown, is Bricks House 4478, who says, I need a battle scarred war bond. Basically the armors we have, but with bullet dents, dings, and scratches. So I guess with kind of like what you would see in Space Marine 2. Definitely add some realism to it, right? With over 600 hours, grant this. And I'm on board for that. I'd like to see some chips in our armor, some possibly the need to replace certain parts, or maybe certain parts are just kind of like hanging off the armor, because we definitely take a lot of damage when we're in battle. And congrats to all 3 of you for making it into the top 3 for this breakdown. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today. We've got some exciting news, got that new major order, and we've got a ton of bugs to go kill. Remember to drop me any feedback you have, and I'll do my best to respond. Also, remember to hit subscribe and ring that notifications bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. All my socials, including links to all of today's sources, can be found down in the video description. We're now well past the point of 247,000 channel subscribers. 250K is the end goal. It's nearly in sight. We're almost there. And I again wanted to send out a heartfelt thank you to those of you that have already taken the plunge. You've hit subscribe and you tune in daily to support me and the channel. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.